Let's talk about the active fire protection systems in our buildings. Just like the passive fire protection systems we already discussed, active fire protection systems are designed to protect life first and property second. There's three basic parts to this system. The first one is fire detection, also called signal initiation. All right, and this is your smoke detector system. Um, and it can also have a manual initiation, as in like a fire alarm pull station. So your detectors will, in general, detect smoke, flame, or heat, right? And they will initiate a signal to the alarm system. So the next basic part of your system is the alarm, and this could be an audible and or visible alarm. And then the final piece of it is a fire suppression system. There are different ones out there, but by far the most common, and the one that we're going to talk about today, is automatic sprinkler systems. The goal of automatic sprinkler systems is to extinguish fires before they have a chance to get out of control. And in your module, I've got a video for you of a demonstration by a fire department of how amazingly effective these automatic sprinkler systems are at quickly and effectively extinguishing fires. So let's take a look at this diagram of a fire sprinkler system. And it looks very similar to the water supply systems that we studied last week. So here is a water main, probably out in the street in front of a building. All right, and the water enters right here and will be pumped up to a reserve tank somewhere high up on the roof. All right, and then it will feed back down into these sprinklers on each floor. So we talked in the last slide about detection and noticing smoke, flame, or heat. Well, these sprinkler heads themselves are heat detectors. All right, and they will activate when they get too hot. And the flow of water through the system is one of the ways that will initiate a fire alarm. The two main kinds of fire sprinkler systems are called wet pipe and dry pipe. It's pretty descriptive of what they are. In the wet pipe system, the sprinkler lines contain water at all times. And so there's going to be water in all of these lines throughout your building. Um, the problem with that is in locations where the water can freeze. Maybe you've got an unconditioned building, or at least part of the building is unconditioned that your water lines run through. And so dry pipe system right here are filled with air. And when a sprinkler head opens, that drop in the air pressure in the pipes will activate a valve and open that up, and then the water will flood through. All right. There's a slower activation time because you have to have time for that water to travel from wherever the valve is, maybe in the basement somewhere, through the pipes, filling those pipes until it reaches the open sprinkler heads. Let's talk about those sprinkler heads. There's a couple of different types. The two major categories are shown here: a pendant hanging below the water piping, or an upright, which goes above. Now, the upright sprinkler head is more common in an open ceiling condition, and the pendant sprinkler head, or kind of the downward facing head, is more appropriate for a closed ceiling. Maybe it's an acoustic or dropped ceiling in your building. So let's take a look. Once you have chosen the pendant system, you could have flush heads, flush sprinkler heads, or concealed sprinkler heads. So if you're in an office and you don't see any sprinkler heads, they might be concealed behind a little cover plate, just a little, looks like a tiny white circle on your ceiling. Sprinkler systems in general are designed by professional sprinkler designers as consultants to your building team. So, what does an architect need to know and need to do about fire sprinklers? Well, first of all, coordination is your major task here. You need to coordinate the sprinkler head locations with everything else that's up in your ceiling, lighting, HVAC, etc. And this can be especially tricky when you've got tall items in your building, in your rooms, particularly in storage rooms, kitchens, and libraries are notorious for this. The other thing that you need to keep an eye out for is to create space for your systems, including the supply pipes, which can be pretty bulky, the valves, the pumps, and there will need to be some access to monitor and maintain these systems. Your active fire protection systems include detection of fire, alarm, and then suppression. And we just talked about one of the most common ways of fire suppression, which is automatic sprinkler systems. Thanks, everyone.